metric, that's the parameters we've defined. That's also the reason why authorized positions from 17 and budgeted positions in 18 from that previous chart are different.
As far as with the merit program and the wellness program, as a board, what specific information do you want? Do you want to see the total cost it is for those programs? I mean, I can get very specific on that. I think as staff, I would like some guidance on what information you want.
What do you think we would want?
I don't know, that's why I'm maybe the general cost of what the programs would cost, or
I think we did, when we were implementing it at the very beginning, there was certain costs that we looked at, so if over 60%, are you sure about the wellness program?
we're talking about both merit and wellness.
So we did run some
Right.
numbers, you ran some numbers, it just said like if 60% participated, that was like the cutoff line of when we'd start incurring, we'd actually be spending.
You want wellness participation, it was at 80%.
Yeah, like the participation.
And, but the thing, and yeah, the threshold we had was 66%, but we actually had some people that went off our health insurance because they did not want the 15%, they did not want to participate
So
in,
just stating that.
in wellness.
Just-
So, I mean, I can give a general summary
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that would work for me, if
Okay.
anyone else has, I mean, just
Okay.
how many
I
participated.
can show you,
What we did before when we were adopting it, you know, just
okay.
saying what.
I'm less worried about the wellness and more worried about the merit. I can tell you, based on the increases, what the cost was. And that's a number I feel comfortable. The number I want to just be a little careful is I don't want to show like what, you know, get into the ratings and that, because that's getting into some sensitive information for staff.
What about just the number of individuals or percent of each department that, you know, that were the costs delegated for the increases per department?
I've
I
got a
still
worksheet.
not like to do that because we have some part departments of like 3 people. So that's another, that's the sensitivity that I'm getting at. So I can tell you as a village as a whole, I mean, that would probably
Is
be,
there any other breakdown, like supervisors versus, you know, is there another way to also show that? That wouldn't, I would like more breakdown if possible, but not too much. I'm just saying, is there another way to reflect?
You wanna think
something
on that,
back on
Carmen?
how our-
yeah, but this is kind of the guidance I'm asking as a, you know,
Yeah,
so what would you like, you know, basically I'm asking, what are you using this data for? I mean, what's the end game with data? 'Cause it's gonna take me some time
For budgeting purposes?
to
Yeah.
get that. So, and I'm not gonna, my time is really limited
Yeah,
these
no.
days, so that's what, I have the data, I just need to go through and get it, and that's gonna take some time. So
I
that's
think-
where I'm asking, what would you like?
Well, Tyler, if I could just interject, in the general fund, the budget impact of the 2017 merit increase was, I think, like about $9,600. And we're, again, suggesting that we have a contingency of 10,018 for that. So if that's really if you want to make, I've run those calculations, I've figured out the impact. When you get into department specific, I think I appreciate the challenges of,
And could you just, it's important to know, because we had vacancies too, so it's important to know that 9,600 represents increases on a staff level of this many, you know, because if next year our vacancies are full, so if we compare year to year, just for instance, next year if we fill, some vacancies and we have more, it's gonna look like the wellness program maybe increased in funding.
well, we're in merit or wellness?
I'm sorry, I need merit, I apologize.
Yep,
And so it would just be good for year to year, just to know how many, what's the sample size there? So how many were rated, and doesn't mean how many got it, doesn't have to be department specific, but just how many individuals
We're eligible.
were eligible, and then this is the total sum, and then next year, how many individuals were eligible, and this is the total sum. That's general enough?
Is this for like the budget, or is this like a review of the merit system separate from the budget process? No.
We haven't-
that's what I'm getting at, because
Yeah,
if it's just, if you're asking for the dollar amount, Mark and I put together a dollar amount that we feel would be adequate for the program.
Which is the 10,
Right, which is what we have built into the budget.
Right, and last year's budget came in
If you
slightly
want to
below that.
reevaluate doing the merit program again, that's a different policy discussion that you can have.
outside of the budget.
As, well, you can still incorporate in the budget, but that's where I'm being a little sensitive, because we decided this as a program, and I'm just letting you know that if we take that away, I mean, we did that for 1 year, and all of a sudden we're taking that, there's gonna be,
Yeah, no, I don't think.
that's gonna be difficult for staff when we spent that time doing the program,
I just want to
so.
be able to compare year after year, not change the policy, just to be able to compare how many people were eligible, here's how much we, in total aggregate, next year we do the same thing.
Yeah, I can do an aggregate village-wide number, I mean, for
Trustee
me, that would be
McKay?
pretty easy to get, I don't do that,
Yeah, we have that data,
yeah.
and I looked at it with this budget in mind.
You guys have- Good.
If staff feels that this is, I can appreciate that Trustee Rozak would find this helpful, but if it does impact staff time and doesn't contribute to the overall evaluation of the proposed budget, I would ask that we just take a consensus from the full board as far as how this would benefit, our consideration of the proposed budget for 2018.
The direction I've heard so far is that I could do kind of an overall summary, I mean, of both the programs from an aggregate analysis that can provide you the big general numbers. I just,
Especially knowing how it compares with the first year of doing it
yeah.
to the.
And I'm hearing it's more of just a check-in evaluation of how the program is going. Is that a fair summary of what I'm hearing? Okay.
Like
Yeah,
I said,
and that information is, literally, I could get that in 10, 15 minutes.
Okay.
So that is not gonna, yeah, that's why I need clarification, because if you were expecting like divided by department, I mean, that's, not only is that gonna take more time, but that's where I was gonna have some concerns about sensitivity of some information, because we have some small departments. So that's the clarification I needed. So I'm good. Thank you, Mark, for that.
All right,
Yeah.
ready to move on?
We are.
So I'm still on page 27, which is really our first breakdown of a major expenditure segment, salaries and wages. We have applied the turnover factor to the Public Works Department as well for budgeting in 2018. Again, they have 21 staff positions. The expectation is that for at least 6 months, there'll be vacancies in one or more cumulative, one position for a month, another position for 2 months, throughout the year from a budgeting impact perspective. Again, there's some other factors that come into that, but this is the metric we use to account for that in Public Works. And then the last narrative paragraph, again, restates the fact that there are more salaries being allocated to the general fund in 2018 compared to 2017 as the allocations of those salaries out of the general fund to the TIDS is decreasing.
Did you raise vacancies? Can you just tell me what goes into that? Is it, because last year, remember, we talked about there was a significant amount of people that announced they were going to retire, so that's kind of factored in. Is that, are we doing it on historical trend, or are we doing on announcements that we know are coming down the line or already have come?
Well, we anticipate a certain amount of staff turnover already. I'm not sure how much of that is official.
Okay,
And there's always a certain amount of staff turnover as well. So from a budgeting perspective, there's things when you transition from what in historical terms used to be a high pay range public works operator to an entry level. There's a drop off in salary just by that, even if there's only 2-3 weeks of turnover in between that. So it's really just an aggregate. We looked at the impact in dollars more than any super staff trends, and our budgets have historically been,
So historically, it's maybe that's.
the actuals have historically been a little lower than the budgets, and we believe that that's attributable to those factors. So we're trying to be better stewards and better budgeters, so we factored that in. Anything beyond that, I think, starts getting tenuous as far as the impact of some of those things. But we felt comfortable with a half a position in aggregate for each division over the course of the year, plus the impact of wage changes from mid-hiring staff to a new employee, higher level staffing costs.
All right.
Page 28 looks at the village's fringe benefits. Again, it's integrated into multiple categories. The second paragraph of narrative does indicate that right now, for budgeting purposes, we are anticipating a 0.0 aggregate increase in the general fund. Now this has two components. We do expect a modest premium increase in 2018 for health insurance costs. But we also are introducing a high deductible benefit plan option to employees in 2018. And the impact of people choosing that is a win for the employee financially and a win for the village financially. So absent final numbers on actually what our health insurance bids come in, we'll have those at budget wrap up. Currently, we foresee that as being relatively neutral. They're offsetting.
Is this the first time we've offered an option in healthcare plans?
It will be.
Yes.
And is there any kind of write-up or just explanation?
There'll be something coming, an HR manual amendment that will kind of clarify the two plans.
During budget? Is there anything that I can read?
It'll be one of the October village board meetings. So it won't be in a budget meeting, but it'll be in a village board meeting to help too.
We're still evaluating plan design specifics and
The problem is I don't have the specifics yet because we're going through a negotiation process with United Healthcare. So I don't, there's nothing concrete I can give to you right now. Just know that, you know, they always give an initial number. The initial number they've given us compared to past years is higher. So it's going to be a harder negotiation this year for them. What's that?
For our existing plan?
Yes.
Okay, and so, so the rate, if we only did the existing plan, it sounds like the rate would be higher.
Correct.
And
This will be a cost, this will be some cost savings to not only employees that go on a high deductible plan, but for the village.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And do you know what the percentage of the quote they gave us back, how much higher it was?
Yes.
Can you tell us?
Well, they always start with a super high number, so I just don't want people to get super concerned with me saying this number. I mean, they always start really high, but they start at 12%. But,
Which is in line with what I've heard from.
but that's where we just gotta go through the process and get that. But typically, when you have a high deductible plan, it's a delta of 14%, meaning that the cost for both, you know, like the village and the employer are about 14% less. So
Depending on how.
compared to the current plan that we have, yeah.
But it's an option, so just, then we have to forecast, you guys forecast just how many you think it would take.
Correct, which is a very difficult task, but we'll try our best.
yeah.
What's the plan here?
Well, again, our hope is to have the negotiations for plan design and final rates by
Early
October.
October, yeah.
And it's just.
So we'll definitely know before the wrap up,
Yeah.
And
hopefully by the October 9th one that we can give an update.
And then we would tell you the assumptions on it we're basing that. And again, if we look at this, I mean, if the numbers say we have to adjust our health insurance index, we have to adjust them, but we just don't have all the information available, yeah.
And when do we go out to bid again, like to someone other than United Health?
We're doing it right now.
That's what you're doing right now?
That's part of the process.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And you'll have that back before October, right?
That's the hope.
Okay,
Yeah, it's always kind of concurrent.
yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish they could do that differently, but
That's weird.
But it always,
Some-
and
some-
one of my X factors.
Sometimes they'll put an initial bid saying, hey, if you don't go out for bid, we'll give you this.
Yeah.
But it all depends on what your claim loss ratio is with, we're at a point where it's a little higher than years past.
And this has always been, as you know from last budget season, a big thing for me, because it can swing
It's a what?
a big issue for me.
For you.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
as we go to the.
it's a big number.
Yeah, for any municipality, I mean, this is,
Yeah.
is one of the key.
So, and unfortunately, it's one we can't pin down on a proposed budget. We just have to tell you what we're budgeting based on, and then update you once we get our final numbers in.
And maybe as we get closer, I'll request it then too, but if, can you run the numbers if it comes in higher, just so we know.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.